Hey guys, welcome to the Dan Miller Show. We're gonna do some reaction and stuff to these about DJ Moore, um, everything to it.
Let's have a day today.
Thank you.
Woo, baby.
Might have to get his jersey, but like,
I'm mic'd up too.
I'm mic'd up.
That pizza yesterday, I had that and a milkshake. Oh yeah, toilets was up this morning.
Milkshake is OD.
you get his jersey. But I want to get Steve Christie's jersey.
I cannot see them. DJ Secret
Brian
stuff.
Norman, I want to get his jersey.
5 seconds to sing a song right now.
Two favorites. Then
Happy
eventually Scott
birthday to
Norwood.
you. Happy birthday to you.
Give me this last one, and y'all just stay down there. We need to go one revolution.
All right, now I'm good. Stay right there.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm good to go.
Get the mix of the kids.
Hell yeah, now I'm good to go.
You know, with that and everything, for the Buffalo Bills, you know, I think that's really cool to see. I wish I could be there sometimes as well, for the Bills and stuff. But DJ Moore in day 6, when the full pads came on, they did a half a day on Monday. Everybody knows about that, which I get, because I've been a football player before, getting that equipment on and everything, and you never know, with that stuff. But for the Buffalo Bills, day 6, they got chippy, which is good. That's what you're gonna get into, it's what's gonna happen sometimes, for the Buffalo Bills, and learning about C.J. Gardner-Johnson injury, which is good. It's not serious, so they're probably just going to take it easy for a while. Probably won't practice the rest of the week. They're going to ease them back in and stuff. Probably get them ready for the regular season or maybe preseason if they let it go that far. Damar Hamlin and Kilgore been stepping up. We'll see what happens with that. But back to DJ Moore, he keeps impressing in me and other fans and even media. I said my hot take was that Coleman was going to be the number one yards and receptions, or all that and everything for the Buffalo Bills, and I still believe that. It's my hot take, but you never know. It looks like, to me, with Skylar Bell in there, he shines, and then he's, up and down right now. He's trending up, but almost even to a point. If he has the bad one or two things that go wrong, but learning process, we'll see. I don't like he can't find the ball when DJ Moore is 3 guys on him, not even looking for the ball but getting it with 3 guys on his ass basically. To see that, like, Skyler Bell would be our short guy, like Shakir was, but with the running backs, in there as well, have them probably go out. It could be a running back screen. They could wide up like Shakir does, and then it's a screen to him, So who knows what they'll play off on that and everything with the offense, but with Moore stretching that field, like I said, maybe Brandon Cooks comes back, helps stretch out the field. Now you got 2 guys that could really stretch the field out. And I know Shakir can stretch the field out a little bit. He'll be more in the middle, where Moore go a 9 route and stretch everybody out, and then maybe Bell would be the short guy, Shakir in the middle, and more down deep and everything. I think they're going to pass it down the field more, at least 40 plus every time. Almost every time they pass. Maybe 49%. And 50 other one will be short or medium. Even to the running backs. Do they do a jet sweep to a running back instead of Shakir or Bell, or maybe even more himself? Or whoever, Coleman. And Coleman, doing that. IVG needs to get a little bit better on the pass coverage and press coverage and stuff. And so, Keon Coleman, he's doing what he's supposed to do with his body, box him out, and, keep doing this and everything. And so we'll have to wait and see, the battles and stuff with left tackles, with the offense, wide receivers, who's going to be number 3, who's going to be number 4, how many wide receivers do they keep? They go 4, they go 5, they go 6, corners, who's going to be the number 2 corner, who's going to really step out to be that corner. Maxwell Harrison, one-on-one with Keon Coleman. I mean, Keon Coleman torched him. Not like torch him. I mean, boxed him out and everything. Hey, Max, his coverage was great, but, to see his coverage be good, but he's going against somebody who could do his job like that and box him out, and that's what he did. But Maxwell Harrison, I think he'll be fine. He's starting to be maybe that number 2 guy. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But, we'll see with Keon Coleman. I want to see him do it in regular season, not just week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. All that, the whole season. Bell, it's got to finish plays. Got to finish it. Play until the whistle, till you hear that whistle. Play's not dead, so we'll have to wait and see. Coach Bishop is, killing it. Who knows? He's that guy, he's aggressive, and, guys are going to be like that, which is okay, on the field. And, you guys are with each other, during training camp, get to know each other. And, the corners and wide receivers when they match up, defensive linemen and the offensive linemen when they go at it, especially full pads, always a fight in full pads, it's basically like a given, what I'm saying? So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that, throughout, they head off Wednesday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, on August 5th. Yesterday was August 4th. I met Joe Marino. Thank you, Joe, for being here and stuff. I know he lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. Everybody, like a lot of people, maybe some don't, but he lives out in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have family. I don't know. I haven't been out there in such a long time. I got to get out there. Been to Myrtle Beach almost every year, but, I should have went. And, my uncle is from there, but he passed away, so I got my aunt, my cousins and stuff that live out there. But it was real nice to have him come up this week and to see him and everything and meet him, get his insights. And I talk about punters and kickers because I was a punter and kicker, and Tyler Bass maybe kicked this weekend in the blue and red scrimmage. I'm not going to be there. Joe Marino will be there, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But if he kicks, maybe they're saving it till the stadium. The win factors, plus he's got 2 holders. Tommy Doyle is going to be that guy probably. You just don't, you know, 21 or 20 out of 21 been drafted, all made the roster, except for, you know, Riza, you know, which he would have made it if the incident didn't come up and everything, which I'm glad he's cleared. Now he's in Kansas City. But, you know, now we got Tommy Doyle. He's going to make it, but we'll see because Tyler Bear's got to go through him and Wisnowski. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. You know, does he do his kickoff? Does Tommy Doyle or Wisnowski do it? You know, we'll see what happens with the preseason. They'll probably make a decision when they after week 1 preseason, you know, maybe before week 2 or after the open practice on the 18th, you know, who knows. You know, I'm going to try to make a road game this year and everything, so we'll see what happens. But there's a lot of things. And the other thing that concerns me right now is the backup quarterback. Hopefully Josh Allen does not get hurt. Cross your fingers, knock on wood, that he doesn't get hurt or anything like that. And Kyle Allen is not looking good. All I hear is I threw another interception. This guy picked it off, or this guy picked it off. You know, whether it's the first string guy or the second string guy, third string guy maybe. They're trying to move up. You know, who's going to be the gunner? You know, is going to be corners, wide receivers. They're, you know, if they're going to be gunners, you know, 4th or 5th guy on the depth chart. You know, for wide receivers, corners, are they, you know, how far in depth are they? Are they the 3rd, the 4th, 5th guy? You know, how many they're planning on keeping? And kind of these guys are coming in and picking them off and not, you know, getting separation or defense is reading that and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and everything. So hopefully, you know, we're not going to need them. You know, if we really do need a backup quarterback who's out there, I don't know. I'll let you guys know the next time and everything. So let's talk about the jerseys, uniforms that they're going to wear this year. And I have the list right here. So, they are wearing blue, I think. See, week 2 versus Detroit Lions. The theme is league season at Highmark Stadium. Partners, blue primary. So they're going to wear the blue primary, which obviously, you know, and I think, yep, the Chargers game, when the Chargers come here, we always go to L.A. too, whether it's Rams or the Chargers. We're you know, LA's coming here, which is LA Chargers, and then we go to the Rams. You know, that's how we drive flight. But uniform Nickel City they're going with the Chargers. That's presented by Wegmans, and then the New England Patriots blue primary. Okay. Week 8 versus Baltimore. Native American Heritage. Week 8, the blue primary. Miami Dolphins. Salute to service. Rivalry jerseys, what we wore last year. I believe. I think that's what it's going to be. Kansas City Thanksgiving. Blue primary. Okay. Chicago Bears. They're going Nickel City, So that's 2 games already. They're gonna wear rival Nickel City jersey with the helmet blue and not rivalry. I was gonna say New York Jets. What they going with? The red alternate jersey. It says. So they're going red jerseys. Week 18. I know Christmas. They said they're going to wear the red helmets. The guy from I was on Always Day game in Buffalo. He said they're going to wear red helmets. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how maybe seeing it in person or when I see it at a game and stuff like that. I'm gonna buy it. I want the helmet first. I want to try to get all the helmets. I want to get a blue helmet or the blue helmet. I want to get the red one. I'm gonna get the white one, the white standing buffalo one. I want to get all that. I want to get all the helmets, but I gotta get a white jersey. I don't own a white jersey. They're all blue. So I want to get a white one as well. So, we'll see what happens. And hit and like, subscribe to this channel. Give you more updates as I can. Once the season gets rolling, though, it'll be 2-3 days a week. I'll get my reaction right after the game, even preseason. I'm thinking about going to Cleveland for the preseason game out there. As right now, I know that's a couple weeks, but might do that. Take a day trip out there. There's a haunted restaurant out there. It is literally called the Haunted Restaurant. Great food. I've been there. I'm going down for the second or third time, but the food is really good. So if you don't, it's where it is in Cleveland. Take a day trip. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and everything. Then you can go to the Haunted Restaurant afterwards, get something to eat. The food is really good. I recommend it for you guys. So hit and like, subscribe to this channel, and rate and review. And thank you guys. It's helped me get to 100 and everything. Take care.